This is your housing market review for Vancouver for July of 2026. The Lower Mainland is not doing as well as the interior. The primary reason for that, I believe, is that the two major economies in the country, Vancouver and Toronto, relied heavily on immigration. And the ban on foreign buyers put up by the federal government has took a large bite out of that immigration. And whether you agree with it or not, that's what's affecting the Vancouver market and Toronto. Let's just have a look at the stats. If you look at the absorption, we started coming out of the hole. So the hole is 6.41% absorption in January of 2026. That is, if you'd asked me 2 years ago or 3 years ago if Vancouver would ever get below 10, I would have said no in my estimation. But here we are. January 6.41%, and you started to see it come out 8 and then 10 and 11 and 10, and it seems to have leveled off around that 10 or 11 mark. So even a very, very slow recovery coming out in the first quarter in the Vancouver market has now leveled off and is actually showing some correction, going back into a correction mode. The sales are, relatively constant. The increase you got up in January, February, March was 302, 430, 570, and January, February, March of last year, 382, 478, and 528. So it looked like we started inching up in the Vancouver market. And even though the sales do show something positive, you got an average of 574 here per month for 2026. And if we look at January to July for 2025, you got 559. So that kind of shows an increase, but most of that increase came in the first quarter, and now we're leveling off, seeing it starting to diminish a bit, or at least level off. Absorption again has leveled off. Prices, if we look at January to July for average price, average single family housing price over here, it's $2,004,000, and January to July again, it's $2,117,000. So that's about a 5% decline in prices just year to date this year compared to year to date last year. So the Lower Mainland is still very sluggish. The only thing that is selling in the Lower Mainland as far as housing is concerned is houses that are aggressively priced. The sellers that are aggressively bringing down, they're understanding the market has dropped. They can live with a loss compared to last year. So they're bringing the price of their houses down and being more aggressive. Those are the houses that are selling in the Lower Mainland. That's your housing market review for July of 2026 for Vancouver.